For Angela Proya, it's a never-ending nightmare. In April 2020, her beloved father went to the hospital after falling ill. He was put on a ventilator. 10 days later, he died. One of the early victims of COVID in the United States.
That's what makes COVID pretty cruel, is you think they're getting better and the doctors are like they're getting better and the next day they're dead.
Like so many others, he died alone. No family members were allowed inside the hospital to see him because it was deemed too unsafe. That still haunts Angelina.
I didn't see him, I didn't touch him, I didn't get to hold his hand as he passed away. I didn't get to tell him I loved him and give him a last kiss. That never happened. And when you're not able to do those things, you're in a state of suspended mourning, I think probably forever.
Today, 93% of Americans over 65 years old are fully vaccinated, but issues persist. It's estimated nearly 10% of Americans suffer from so-called long COVID, debilitating side effects that linger months after contracting the virus. And anxiety still shadows the 7 million immunocompromised Americans who face a heightened risk of catching COVID. There's still hundreds of people every single day dying from COVID in the United States. Those who study the disease and track its progress say the U.S. needs to do a better job of learning from those deaths.
We have upwards of 500 deaths at least of COVID every day in the U.S. and we know very little about who these people are, why they're falling through the cracks, and where there may have been missed opportunities along the way, whether it be vaccination or whether it be being up to date on vaccination, whether it be access to antivirals. This is important to course correct our implementation and our response to the pandemic, even now 3 years into it.
For Angelina, any progress made fighting COVID is too late for her loved one.
My father was a good, genuine, kind, gentle, sweet, generous person, and he didn't deserve to die like that.
Or any of the people who continue to 3 years later. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera, New York.